of you like rap and pop music? Please raise your hand if you do. Okay, now who listens to rock? Maybe we have some metalheads here. Well, I've done some research in which I asked random people what they think about those music genre, and I came to the realization that society really has preconceptions about rock and metal. What was one of the answers I was given? If you listen to heavy metal, it must be some sort of cult thing, meaning if you like Metallica, you are either a member of a gang or, if not, then God knows, maybe even something worse. So when I ask those people why they think that, the most common answer was, oh, it's mostly because of their look. So I decided to ask Google what specifically is that metalheads look people are so afraid of. I went through many articles and I found some keywords which kept repeating in almost every single description. And those were tattoos, black boots, bullet belt, leather jacket, gloves, a lot of jewelry, and of course, dark makeup. Now, I bet if any of you saw a metal fan, you would probably just cross the street. You know, give him a wide berth just in case. And I know it may be hard to believe, but in that situation, you would also have to cross the street if you saw me, or my father, or my uncle. And honestly, they are really nice guys in everyday life. My dad wears a suit to his work, and my uncle is playing with his two beautiful little kids. Do you see that? This shows us that look is not everything. But people are still prejudiced, and actually here comes the other thing. Rock and metal is considered to be very aggressive with provocative lyrics and so on. Well, most of the time the truth is completely different. Take a look at those lyrics. Do you see any anger here? It is a song called November Rain by Guns N' Roses, a famous band. I'm sure some of you know them very well. The guitar solo in this song is widely regarded as one of the greatest solos ever. Anyway, one thing I know for certain, rock music does not promote violence. In fact, there are plenty of songs related to things like love, friendships, passing away. There are even some songs related to problems society struggles with every day. Example? There is a song titled The Call of the Wild by Slash. It raises the issue of phone addiction and tries to make people aware of it. But despite all of this, rock and metal are still very infamous. Although conversely, people very often act like they suddenly became rock fans. Because how many times do you see a person wearing a t-shirt with those logos? Shops are literally filled with that kind of stuff, and since celebrities wear them, it is becoming more and more popular. And what is sad, most people, wear it only for fashion. You know, I love asking questions. I was definitely that kind of child who wanted to know everything about everything and everyone. So it shouldn't be a surprise that sometimes in a conversation, rather than being quiet, I ask, why? How? The same situation happened once I was talking to my friend. He started complaining about rock, so I inquired him straight away what specifically he doesn't like about it. The answer was kind of predictable. He told me that in his opinion, rock and metal are nothing more than noise. No deeper message and no positive emotions. And somehow, I do understand that, because it may be confusing when you hear loud drums, then the vocal section comes in, and all of a sudden it turns into a guitar solo. But what if I told you that every rock song has its story? That there is something more, something really worth sharing behind the lyrics, behind the guitar riffs. I know it may sound a bit absurd, but believe me, there are a great deal of songs people can truly relate to. And I'm not talking only about those typical metalheads I've mentioned before, because it's not the point. I am the vivid example that rock and metal could be your partner in life. Something that calms you, something that makes you smile, something that takes away all your sadness. It is also something that connects me with my father and my uncle. Rock and metal are those type of music genres which gather people of all ages. Let's be honest, rock stars like Ozzy Osbourne, they are not 20 years old anymore. But imagine the feeling when you are at the concert and you see three generations, people our age or even younger, people like our parents, and finally, peers of our grandparents. I think it is incredible that there are teenagers falling for music played by someone who turned 70, when nowadays there are plenty of young artists that they can listen to instead. And that's exactly what makes it special. This is what distinguishes it from other music genres: the unity. Metalheads are not gangs. They are families, supporters. Rock does not urge aggression. It teaches you how to feel. Simply, it helps you when you need help. And last but not least, rock and metal are not just loud music. Every section of each song has meaning. The key is to understand rock and metal as a universal language over generations, over nationalities, and also over personalities. Thank you.